Till when?
Oh, we are live. It says here on the YouTube.
Oh, would you look at that? We're live.
People of the world, we are here. Loose Wheel, episode 44. Oh, we are live. I can hear myself on the YouTube. So that means I have been able to use my genius.
Mm-hmm.
I am proud of myself.
Yeah, good
I
job,
didn't.
man.
I wasn't sure it was gonna work,
I'm gonna
did.
link this on Instagram now.
So, post it to the show. Let's wait for some people to roll in here.
Yeah, a little bit of a different show today. Obviously, it's a very important day in America.
Yes, that's right. It's Ethan's birthday. Chat. Wish him a happy birthday.
Truly the most important thing going on in America today.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm joking. There is the presidential election, so Blaze Radio is doing it. The election coverage that it does every time that there is an election. That's how election coverage works. So we have been cast aside. So sad, but we're still with you on YouTube as I speak to 0 people.
Yes. I'm texting people as I speak.
Texting the fans. That's how you know they're real fans.
Texting the folks to say, I have used my head for some genius activities.
Yeah, so we don't exactly know what this episode is going to
Why does this
entail exactly, because we don't have a time restriction. We'll kind of just yap for as much as we want.
Okay.
As long as we want.
Got a lot of things going here. Are we still live? Did I figure this out right?
We should still be live.
Holy carp. Okay, we've episode 44. Andrew Hazlett, Ethan Ignatovsky here with you as always. Martinsville happened, trucks happened, Christian Eckes won, and Taylor Gray had this walk to confront him that led to absolutely nothing. No fight. It was interesting. Just a bunch of talking, yapping, fun things. Whatever. I just uploaded that to my close friend's story, but we are making it. I don't even know. This has been a day. Yeah, and then the Xfinity. You had, who won the Xfinity race? Someone did.
Should know this.
I do know Chandler Smith gave a literal slap in the face to Cole Custer. Eric Almirola, who I picked. Yeah, so yeah, I was smart. That was about where our people are. Yeah, we're live on YouTube.
We're live on YouTube.
You guys are live?
On YouTube.
Where's the no camera?
No,
Yeah,
we got
no
OBS
camera.
going.
Which mic
We got
is it?
Oh,
the computer
mic?
This is an extremely high tech operation we got
This
going
means a
here.
lot to me because I've posted like 45 something episodes of the. What show are we on?
44 of the season.
For season 2, like
What are
50
we total?
overall.
Okay, so I posted like 50 something episodes of this.
Yeah.
To finally appear on it is my honor. Happy election night.
Station
wise words from Ben Paris.
Yeah. Blaze Radio website guy.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Ryan Sikora, Blaze Radio station manager, was also here. Great people. Anyway, into the cup side of Martinsville. I believe we have a solid 0 people listening.
You know what I love about being live on YouTube is we can see exactly how many 0 people are listening. When we're live on Blaze, we don't really know. Is there 1 person listening? Is there 0 people listening?
Are we at 0?
I'm on my phone watching now, so now we're at 1.
Yes. Awesome.
I'm gonna type something in chat.
What? I will see it here in a moment. We don't want this going. Anyway, okay. This has gone off the rails, and
It was going off the rails before we started, man.
yeah. Anyway, moving forward, because that's what we do here. Martinsville, Martin Truex Jr. leading on pole. His race went downhill from there. Elliott took the lead earlier. Christopher Bell spin, and he collected LaJoy. Stage 1 results, you had Elliott, Byron, followed by non-playoff guys in Briscoe, Preece, followed by Blaney, not Logano. I'm very tired. Oh, boy. Followed by Larson, and then non-playoff guys Bowman, Austin Dillon, the already advanced Logano, followed by the non-playoff guy Newman. Byron passes Elliott on the restart. Suarez spins after contact from Hendrick, hitting Barry via Cindric and Hendrick. Hocevar spins Burton, and Truex spins after contact from another car via Daniel Hemrick. Split strategy at this point. Chase Elliott's crew had a slow stop. As I'm bringing something out for later, you might have heard it. You had the 12 of Blaney, 11 of Hamlin, 6 of Keselowski, and the 20 of Bell, and 7 other cars stayed out. You also had Gilland and Hocevar on 2. And then everyone else pits for 4, which were led by the Hendrick trio of Byron, Larson, Bowman, and then followed by Briscoe. Then Blaney leads. And then after Blaney leads, you had the 38 and the 31 spin after contact from, you guessed it, Carson Hocevar. That was his own. I thought he was on pace to recreate Vickernism. Shout Jimmy Spencer for coining that, but he decided to not do it. So good job for Carson Hocevar. Keselowski.
3 rounds of applause.
No, I don't even know what that was. That was a terrible clapping. Keselowski, he got the lead on the restart. The lights are too bright. Lights are too dark now. I'm missing the lights here.
What is happening tonight?
Yeah, full moon out tonight or something. I don't know.
That would explain a lot.
And then that ended stage 2 pretty much. Keselowski, followed by a long run of playoff drivers. You had Blaney. You had Hamlin. You had Larson. You had Bowman. You had Bell. And then you had a non-playoff driver run of Dillon, Bowman, Gregson, and Preece. Bell fell out of the top 10 on the pit stops under the yellow, followed by Elliott to the lead on pit stops as he came early. Hocevar spins after contact from Bowman. Then you had 4 drivers stay out. The Hendrick duo of Larson and Byron. Byron led. And then Preece and Cindric. Keselowski and Hamlin on 2. And then your top 4 on 4 were 9 of Elliott, 12 of Blaney, 3 of Austin Dillon, 8 of Kyle Busch. The 4 cars that stayed out, they trapped Christopher Bell a lap down, and that was key for things that happened later in the race. Remember that, kids. Remember that, all the people listening. Bell stays a lap down because the 4 cars stayed out. So, as we're coming to the restart, Steve Letarte in the NBC booth notice is there's a loose wheel off the 8 car.
Andrew, check chat.
I don't see anything on here. What's in chat? Oh, there's people in the chat. Nice. I might mod some people here in a second. Anyway, so Steve Letarte's screaming about a loose wheel. He's like, don't go to a restart. Don't do a restart. Loose wheel. NASCAR doesn't see it until after they restart. So NASCAR Tower. Today being a special episode, we aren't doing one chicken award. We're doing a handful of chicken awards. This is the chicken coop episode, and the first chicken in the chicken coop is the NASCAR Tower. For not realizing they had
3 squeaks.
a yellow.
Andrew is angry tonight.
Oh
Wow.
boy, this is the start. So this chaos comes, and this happens. Just everything scrambles up. Larson gets the lead. He passes Byron. Byron's not happy, but anyway, we have a nice green flag run. Elliott surges to the lead with 24 laps left, and Blaney, he was further back, and he passes Elliott with 14 laps left. An amazing drive from Blaney. He goes on to win. We should be talking about this, Ethan. But that's about all we're going to be talking about. Because on the final lap, Christopher Bell drives it into 3, loses control of his car, hits the wall, and just stays on the wall. That he passed Bubba Wallace by doing that, and that put him in the championship on a tiebreaker. But oh no, that wasn't it. Because meanwhile, for Bubba Wallace, he was slow for 10 laps, losing numerous positions. He claimed he had a tire going down, but I don't know.
I don't know, Jim.
You can say that, I'm not, but I don't know. That a lot of people think differently, including myself. Just saying.
So you would say that?
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't confirm that, but I would hypothesize that.
Hypothesize?
Oh boy.
Shout out Shiny Silver. Real ones remember that one.
Yes. I am
A second guest on the show.
Second guest
Keenan
on
Vaughn.
the show.
So-
Assistant News Director Keenan Vaughn.
Anything to say about racing?
I don't have anything to say about racing.
We're live.
We're live.
No, I just wanted to issue a formal apology that we had to move the Loose Wheel show away from Blaze.
Yeah, so
You
when
were
I
here first.
when I go to the beautiful website known as Blaze Radio Online, it says the Loose Wheel Show is playing. The Loose Wheel Show was not playing.
I mean, of course, the Loose Wheel show is the most important thing going on today. Nothing more important going on.
You
Oh,
heard
hold
it.
on, you're wrong.
You heard it directly from Assistant News Director. Is that your formal title?
Head of broadcasting for the news board.
Head of broadcasting from the news board, Keenan Vaughn, said that we are the most important thing
That's
at
on the
Blaze.
internet now. And actually, you're wrong. It's Ethan's birthday. That's the most important thing.
That's what I also wanted to come on and say. Happy birthday, my man. I hope you have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful birthday.
Thank you.
I will leave y'all to it.
All
right, thank you, Keenan.
This is great. Anyway, where was I? Oh, there's some juicy stuff.
You were ranting.
This is juicier than a steak. What I'm about to go on here. So, you're probably saying, "Oh, this is no good. This is these cheating Toyotas." That's an actual NASCAR expression. I'm glad I got to bring this up. No. They weren't the only manufacturer that's bringing up some tomfoolery, some shenanigans. No,
Okay.
Chevy was doing the exact same thing. Austin Dillon and Ross Chastain, they were sitting right behind Byron. They stayed side by side for a multitude of laps, numerous laps, blocking Brad Keselowski, among other cars, to make sure 24 stays in.
Okay.
So, no good, not very good. So, what does NASCAR say about this?
I don't know. What do they say about this, Andrew?
They may have 20 minutes, and the decision they make is a safety violation on Christopher Bell for doing the Ross Chastain maneuver. You are penalized to the back of your cars on that lap. And now Elton Sawyer, the chief, I don't know what he is. I call him the chief post-race yapper and explainer of penalties of NASCAR.
That is quite the title.
He came on,
Unofficial title.
yapped as per usual this year, which is not very good. this is no disrespect to Elton Sawyer. He does for his job. I'd prefer not to see him. I don't want to hear rulings about stuff every other race because something had to be stupid. I don't like stupid. But anyway,
His official title is Senior Vice President of Competition of NASCAR. Would like to throw that out there, put some respect on his name as Andrew's just dragging it.
that's what he does on a what's the word? Like a literal basis.
Yeah.
That's what you see him doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, that's not very good. Also, I said we had a chicken coop of awards. So, first one goes to Bubba Wallace and the 23 team for I'm going to say deliberately trying to get a teammate into the playoffs and failing.
That was more than I can count.
Also, Christopher Bell, not his team, Christopher Bell, for trying a wall ride, and in his interview, he knew he was guilty. He looked like he had screwed up, and he was trying to act. Oh, same thing for Bubba Wallace. He almost had there was a Clint Boyer itchy arm spin gate fiasco. I'm not going to get into that now. It's a fun story. Read up on it, watch videos, whatever you want to do. But he was doing the same mannerism as Clint Boyer, so that's what he had squeaks for. Christopher Bell, he looked guilty, so he would get a couple of chicken squeaks. Also, Austin Dillon and the whole 1 team and the whole 3 team, just not even racing anymore. Come on. I would have I know the team says no. I would say screw it. I'm racing. I don't care what you all say. I'm going to race. I have a job to do.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
So that squeezes for both of them. And also, Chevrolet, you also get the chicken award. And I think most of all, you deserve it the most because Shane Van Gisbergen, he doesn't know much about NASCAR because he hasn't been in NASCAR for long. He's kind of an old dog learning a new trick. So he's learning these ovals slowly, but he is doing a great job learning them. And he doesn't necessarily know what the etiquette is when contact and things. So he's probably thinking with things, I'm going to play on the cleaner side. I don't want to ruffle feathers. And when he got passed by Blaney at a pointer in the race, Blaney knocked him out of the way. What do you keep going. So anyway, and then Chevy goes, when he was getting lapped later, they're like, oh, what we're going to do is say, hey, remember, the Blaney raced you hard earlier. You got that? That message is from Chevrolet. And then Chevrolet already manipulating with the 1 and 3. Great job, Chevrolet. I hate. There's I don't know what the next word up from hate is, but that is the word I'm going to use for Chevrolet. Whoever was calling the shots for Chevrolet, they deserve a kick in the nuts.
Wow. You need to chill out, buddy. The loose official statement from the Loose Wheel show right here. Andrew's statements do not reflect those of myself or the greater brand. Andrew will hereby be sentenced to sensitivity training. Not sensitivity training, just training. You're going to training, bud. What Andrew meant to say is that the manufacturers constantly interfering in racing like this just sucks for the sport. It's horrible. really the extent should be teammates helping out other teammates.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be seeing. It doesn't even make sense. Like, why is Bubba Wallace trying to help out Christopher Bell? Like, the manufacturer's kind of dangling of the puppets has shown up big time in Martinsville, and it's just not what we want to see in the sport.
Yeah, it's a joke. If I'm NASCAR, I would put both manufacturers on probation. This is not.
What does that entail?
It basically says probation. What I think. Well, I don't know what probation actually is. What I know is
You don't know? Wait, no, sorry, pause. You don't know what probation is.
it's basically when you do something wrong. It's like saying you can't do anything wrong or you'll get punished further. That's what I've understood it to be.
Essentially, yes. Okay.
I don't know what the technical term is, but that's what I've devolved with my head because I haven't looked it up. But anyway, regardless of that, put them on probation, fine them, big time monies, multiple monies,
All the monies?
not all the monies,
Okay.
but a lot of monies,
A lot of monies.
and say, you can't pull this off again, and set the precedent. Say we're playing hardball.
Okay.
This is not a part of the sport, shouldn't be a part of the sport, and is unacceptable to all.
Yeah.
To all. I don't care if it's Ford, I don't care if it's Chevy, I don't care if it's Toyota, I don't care if Mercedes comes knocking in and they start racing and they try to pull this in their first year. Nope. It is not flying. It shouldn't fly. And I think the ones penalized should be the manufacturers because that's what they're trying to pull.
They're
It's
the ones
unacceptable.
meddling. They're the ones
It is
meddling.
unacceptable. This is terrible. Furthermore, NASCAR, what they did, this is what I think should have happened. Furthermore, is with the playoffs, is they decided to leave the championship 4 as is.
Okay.
My original reaction is, okay, Doc points off of Bell and Byron so that Larson comes in as the 4th driver. But over time, I saw that as an option. It was there's a couple options. That option, penalize them both, and that would make Bellin penalize them both and leave Byron in, or don't penalize them all, or penalize them. Do a 5-man championship of the five that I mentioned, and then you can add, or you can do a 3-man championship and say, okay, you guys meddled too much. No one else qualified in by the standards, and quite frankly, that's what I'd do. Is say, okay, you guys tried your tomfoolery. It's not gonna fly. 3-man championship, and that's what it should be. That's what I think. Honestly, there's no right answer because if you do any of those options, someone's not going to be happy. The fans are going to be split 5 ways on this. The drivers are going to be split 5 ways on this. Manufacturers, whoever, owners, executives. So I do see an argument where it's best to do nothing, but I don't love doing nothing. There is no winning move, and it's unfortunate for NASCAR. It's not what you want to see. I don't want to see them being in this situation, but it's frustrating. That's why I want to say, okay, whatever. And when I said Bell was a lap down, Bell was strapped a lap down. He stayed a lap down, and Bell's pass on Bubba Wallace was the only pass he could have made.
Mm-hmm.
So it was those positions were so crucial. It was so just frustrating to see, so mind-boggling. It's like I just watched a solid 7 out of 10 race where we should be talking about Ryan Blaney and how great of a drive he did to win the race. But we're not. We're talking about this, which this is a problem of the current playoffs. It produces these corny moments, which just are no good. No one likes them.
The playoff system has run its course.
Yeah, and if you're gonna if you want to, if NASCAR stays with the playoff system,
It needs to change.
Of this current iteration, what they need to do is move Martinsville out of this this last spot, because Martinsville is a tough track to pass on without using a bumper.
Do you
as
really
it
think
is.
it matters what
And
track?
you
Like,
you have
something
the
of
hold
this-
on, and you have the Hail Melon with that move. That's not going to work at most of these other tracks, I would believe. So you take those and you put in Vegas. Maybe this doesn't happen as worse as it could be. You have a wider track with multiple lanes, multiple natural grooves compared to Martinsville. I do love Martinsville, but just for this system, you can't have Martinsville. That's not an option.
Look.
This is the minimum. I want more, but I'm saying this is the minimum. What I'd like to see for me is, I know you want to talk, Ethan, but I'm kind of cooking right now. What I want is, like, a lot of people want to say, oh, I want to go back to the system where it's a season-long points format. I don't want to see that. That's just too boring. I want to go back to the 2011-2003 system with these current points of the stages. That's what I want to see, and the playoff points, because that's basically the system that caused a tie in 2011 with Stewart and Edwards, that you can arguably say is the greatest championship race in history at Homestead, Miami, with that drive that Stewart did to go from the back to pass Edwards. So I think that's a great system, and in this system, Ethan, you would have, I don't have it on my computer, but there would be, I think, 4 drivers that are mathematically eligible. Actually, I can pull it up on my phone. Why can't I? I will do that real quick, because I'm pulling it up on my phone. So I did do the math, Ethan, and I found out some interesting things as I'm trying to find it. Where is it? So with this system, you stay on. I think I might have saved it here. Where did I save it? I am losing my marbles. Did I save it on my school account?
Andrew,
This shows you the day.
All right. What I was.
I found it. I found it. Christopher Bell. He would be leading by William Byron. You dropped your hat, Ethan. By
Just
2
say
points.
the numbers, number man.
By 2 points. So that's 2 positions, basically. Larson would be 46, I believe. And then long shots would be Blaney and Elliott at 56 and 59. So a lot would have to happen for those guys. But we have 4 guys, so 5 that have a chance. And then the boomers that are saying, "Oh man, we should have a season-long points format." That would be a 30-point gap. That would be a 30-point
Calling
gap.
those people boomers is crazy work.
Well, it's mostly old heads that want to return the sport to its former glory. But granted,
NASCAR kind of does need to be returned to its former glory. In some ways.
But otherwise they're doing great stuff.
True.
Mainly, I will say, the schedule. NASCAR's doing great with the schedule, with your guys fighting for a championship, they're second in my system. There's one. 8th, 9th. 2nd, 8th, 9th, and I forgot who the other driver was. 2nd, 8th, 9th, and 4th. That isn't very good. So, these guys haven't even had a good playoff. Reddick and Logano have not had a good playoff season.
Mm-hmm.
That's not very good.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say. the chase system from 2011 to 2009 would still create interesting battles in the regular season to to lead into the playoffs, and then you'd still have the best guy over 10 races wins the championship. And I think people would like that because it's still interesting, but it would not be artificial. It would feel kind of natural instead of trying to have a Game 7 moment every the third, sixth, and ninth, and then the championship race. You only have that when it is the Game 7 moment.
Do I have permission to speak now?
You can speak. Go on. Whatever you need to talk about, because
right.
I'm done here. I'm done here.
What I was trying to say earlier is I think that no matter where you go, obviously it can change, but it can be to a lesser of an extent of what we saw at Martinsville. But I think that no matter where we go, there will be shenanigans. It's just the nature of this current playoff format.
Right.
Martinsville exemplifies it and enhances it, but really, no matter where the series would go, there would be some form of shenanigans. So, yes, that as well as the Final Four just being... Like, you got Christopher Bell, who definitely deserved to make the Final Four. He's out of it. Just looking at the season. Kyle Larson, who ask most NASCAR fans, they will tell you he is the best driver in the sport.
And you can argue he's having the best season, and the season-long points he'd be winning it all.
And he's not in the Final Four. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. The fact that we even have a one-race winner-go-home, I just personally am not a fan of it. I understand it creates excitement for that one race, but it's kind of... It's just not something I can get behind. It's like you were saying earlier, it's artificial. And if you go back to how it was earlier from 03 till when did they stop that? Whichever one you were saying.
The 11 to 13.
11 to 13, yeah, not 03. 11 to 13.
There was an 03. I think it was the 04 when the chase first started.
Yeah, whatever. You can do either of those. You can do a season long, in my opinion, because you have Indycar that does a season long. You have F1 that does a season long. You have pretty much every other motorsport out there that does.
Not V8 supercars anymore, unfortunately.
That does a season long. So I don't mind if you do that. I don't mind if you adjust the playoffs so you do have whoever has the most points at the end 10 races of the season and only X amount of drivers those points count or whatever. I just think that it needs to be changed up in some way because like you said, this was a very good race. You gave it a 7 out of 10 and yet we've been sitting here talking for like 20 minutes, not about the good racing, but about the bad stuff.
Yeah. One thing that you did say, when I was saying leave Martinsville, that's the minimum I'm asking because I know NASCAR's not going to change the system. I know it. I know what the NASCAR executives think. They're not going to change it. They're going to say, "Oh, this is what we want." That's not what the fans want. But anyway, like if that's what I'm trying to get at is if they do decide to keep this system, Martinsville, I like Martinsville. It just isn't the right place for this.
It needs to go somewhere else on the schedule.
Yeah, Homestead, really anywhere because Martinsville's just its type of racing just exemplifies that behavior even more. Quickly, I think we've said about everything we've had to say about this for now.
Definitely.
For Bahrain WEC, Kevin Estra, Andre Lauder, Lawrence Van Thor, they won the championship for Porsche Penske Motorsports in hypercar. LMGT3 Ryan, who is the Manthey Pure. And the winners of the races was Vista AF Course and LMGT 3. I believe it was the 54 car. I'm trying to pull it up right now. Should have brought a water with me because my voice is getting tired. I can feel it in my lungs and everything.
I can go
Fun
get some
time.
water while I'm on my monologue.
I probably won't. It was the 55, not the 54. Different cars that won. Alessio Rivera, Simon Mann, and Francois Horan. I cannot pronounce French names either. But Toyota
Unless your name is John Smith, there is a chance that Andrew will butcher.
I just struggle with French and Italian names. Toyota Gazoo Racing, they won the number 8 car. They won in the hypercar class with Sebastian Buemi, Brendan Hartley, and Ryo Hirakawa. So good for them. So that ends that season. So good for them. They said the race. The people on the line online said the race was good.
Line.
So
So much
I'll
happens.
be back.
So much happened.
You
actually.
can add to the coup.
Oh no, I'm creating my own award.
Okay, you have fun with that.
I will. All right. My show now. Okay. So, Brazil. Race with a lot of implications. I mean, I've been saying since the start of the season that, or not since the start of the season, but since the Lando versus Max championship talks have been starting, I've been saying the entire time that it's a fraudulent championship. But this was a big race for Lando to try to increase a lead because, I mean, we'll get into it, but in the main race, Max was starting down in 17th, Lando was starting on pole, and still came out behind Max. Essentially now the championship battle is completely toast. Like I said, I've been saying from the beginning that Lando doesn't have a shot, but now, not mathematically, still technically a chance, but really zero chance. But I'll get into it later on. Starting off with the sprint, you do have Oscar on pole after putting in a great final lap of qualifying after Lando was faster throughout the entire session. He held off Lando into turn 1, but importantly, Lando did keep in front of Max. Leclerc was able to get ahead of Max too. On lap 9, Behrman passed Hulkenberg, and Perez also passed Hulkenberg. Perez would continue to make himself known in the race. He was getting in a battle with Liam Lawson. These two just keep getting at it. Kind of embarrassing if you're Perez, honestly. Lap 18, Max passes Leclerc down the straight and holds that position into turn 4. Perez finally gets the move to stick on Lawson at the Senna S's on lap 20, so they were fighting for a while there. On lap 21, Hulkenberg's car dies. The FIA threw yellow flags in the sector at first, but then decided to go with a full VSC a lap later. Not right before that, about half a lap before that, the McLarens decided to swap places then. That was always the plan going into the race, into the sprint, I should say, that they were going to eventually swap places. Finally happened right there. There was a lot of drama about that. I'll get into it in just a moment, but in my opinion, the drama is way overblown. The VSC ended on the last lap. Lando came across to take the checkered flag, so Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Gasly, and Perez were your top 8. Remember, in a sprint, only the top 8 score points from 8 to first. First place obviously getting 8, 8th place getting 1 point. Now, a lot of people online, or not a lot of people, just the depths that is F1 Twitter basically are saying that it was a conspiracy, that the FIA just had to throw the VSC right after the McLaren duo made that pass. No, just no. Like, they didn't do it for at least half a lap after the pass was completed. So it definitely wasn't a conspiracy there. McLaren knew that there was a chance that it was going to be a VSC, which is why they decided to swap places right then. But it's not some conspiracy by the FIA so that Lando Norris can finish 49 points behind Max Verstappen at the end of the season instead of 50. I can assure you of that. I promise every single one of you. Also, people are laughing at Lando because he wasn't pulling away from Oscar at the end. Again, if you're gonna you're gonna get on the guy, at least do it for something legit. Like, he had less than half a lap to pull away before he came across to take the checkered flag. So what are we complaining about? And then the penalty that Max got in the sprint, cut and dry penalty. Like, it's black and white. That's just the way it goes. Lando said after the race, quote, "Not proud about it, but we work well as a team together. I thank Oscar. We've done a great job as a team. Today was the result that we wanted. Oscar deserved it, but we were doing what we have to do, so I thank him." Some maturity from Lando Norris that he then,
Good for him.
less than 24 hours later, maybe more than 24 hours later, around 24 hours later, made himself look like a little child again with a really bad quote. Talking about the main race, though, now. Pre-race. Just so much stuff to talk about pre-race. Max was down in 17th, like I said, after qualifying. He had a 5-place grid drop for engine components. Sainz was starting from the pits. Albon wasn't even starting the race after wrecking in qualifying. So many drivers spun off track in qualifying. On the formation lap, Lance Stroll binned it, which, look, Andrew, I'm going to cut Lance Stroll some slack here. It's a wet track. Sometimes the rear of the car locks up. You spin off track. What I don't understand is how you then drive directly into the gravel trap. Now that is wild.
Yeah, you don't drive into kitty litter, kids.
So, with that, I would like to give out the first ever Order of Sir Lancelot Medal of Excellency and Exceptional Talent. Obviously, this isn't a real medal. It's just what we're calling the award here, okay?
There is no medal here.
So,
Unlike my rubber chicken.
Lance Stroll, you are the first ever recipient of the Order of Sir Lancelot Medal of Excellency and Exceptional Talent for somehow driving directly into a gravel trap. Truly impressive stuff there. After that, did things get more clear? No. There was a fiasco with Lando and some other drivers leaving their grid boxes for another formation lap when they weren't supposed to. Me personally, I blame the FIA for the confusing wording, but Lando and McLaren still need to know the wording, even if it is confusing. It was an aborted start, which doesn't mean that you redo the formation lap. Sometimes when there are aborted starts, it says aborted start, and then it says a separate message, which is redo the formation lap or whatever they say. But those two don't always exist at the same time. So it was just an aborted start because there was a crane on track. We don't have cars around when there are cranes going on track. So it was a dangerous situation. Lando and George Russell got fined $5,000 each after the race, I believe, and Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson, I believe, were the other two drivers that went. They didn't receive a punishment, but yeah. Getting to actual racing now.
Why didn't they receive a punishment? Do we know, or is it FIA?
It might be out there. I don't know. For me, it's not a big enough of an issue. The FIA messed up by having confusing wording. So that's just my view on it. But anyway, starting on pole position, Lando Norris keeps the lead into turn 1. Psych! George Russell jumped him down the inside. Esteban Ocon almost steals third place from Yuki Tsunoda, but can't quite do it. Oscar Piastri passes Fernando Alonso a little down the grid after a three-way battle between those two and Liam Lawson. Later on in the first lap, Checo spins just because he felt like it. That was kind of funny. By the end of lap 1, Max is already up to P11 and passes Lewis Hamilton down the inside into turn 1 at the start of lap 2. So starting from P17, kind of P16 because Sainz was starting from the pit, actually kind of P15 because, kind of P16 because Sainz was starting from the pit. Does that make sense? No, I don't even know what I'm saying.
I don't know what I'm saying.
He was.
I'm not saying anything.
He was starting at the back end of the grid. He had multiple cars in front of him, and still managed to make it up to P11 and, like I said, P10 after passing Lewis Hamilton with a nice move into turn 1 at the start of lap 2. On lap 4, Oliver Behrman ran into the back of Franco Colapinto and spun himself, getting a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. A lap later, Verstappen continued his push up the grid. He passed Gasly for 9th, and then a lap after that, got past Fernando Alonso as well. On lap 10, he made easy work of Oscar Piastri at turn 1. I don't know if Oscar didn't expect him to get as good of a run down. The start-finish isn't straight.
Yeah, it's kind of curved.
But Max did get a really nice run and was able to make pretty easy work of Piastri there. And then very easily got past Liam Lawson, 2 for 6th a lap later. Liam Lawson, RB, junior team, he wasn't exactly out to impede Verstappen at all. Later on, Piastri, like lap 20-something, lap 24, I want to say, Piastri hit Lawson, sparking a war of the Oceania countries, Andrew. No,
boy.
I'm exaggerating. Only thing that happened was Piastri got a 10-second time penalty for punting Lawson off the track. Throughout this stage of the race, a lot of drivers were really close to each other. A lot of anticipation leading into the pit stop window as the track was changing. Inters started to get too warm, but it wasn't dry enough for the dry tires. Not even close. In fact, the track would start getting more into wet conditions after seeming like it might dry out a little bit. Lap 28, a VSC, I cannot speak tonight, wow. A VSC came out because Nico Hülkenberg spun off track, but he was able to keep going after sitting for a while. However, Andrew, later disqualified, Marshals helped him get his car back on track. That is a big no-no. Marshals cannot
Why is it
touch.
such a big no-no?
It's just the rules. Marshals can't help a car get going again.
Why is that the rule? Just
because that's what the FIA decided on. That's just
sounds
the rules.
about right.
That's how it's been for as long as I know. You know, it's just a quirk of Formula One. On lap 29, worst possible timing, right as the VSC was ending. Right as the VSC was ending, George and Lando came into the pits for inters. Their inters were getting worn. They had to come in for new inters. They came out behind Esteban Ocon, Max Verstappen, and Pierre Gasly. And things, at least momentarily, got even worse for them, those two, George and Lando, because the track was now more suited for wet tires than inters. Rather unfortunate for those two. On lap 30, Lando made a brave move on the straight that, if things played out differently, could have won the race, but things didn't play out differently. Motorsports happened, racing happened, didn't get the win. On lap 31, there was a safety car because of rain, and Formula One, what are we doing here? Do we not have wet tires? We do. Okay, so why aren't we racing in them? I mean, the spray is so bad, but just the tires need to be different. The cars need to be different. I don't know. Something needs to change because it hasn't been an issue until recent years, Formula One cars racing in the wet. It was just the nature of the sport. If it was raining, you put on the wet tires, you go out racing in the rain. I understand the safety, I understand all that, but if we could do it in the past, we can do it today and still be safe. You just need some innovation, okay?
Innovation?
Innovation.
I'm going to interrupt you here quickly, Ethan, is that it's, as I would, as someone who follows F1 casually, it's bad that NASCAR is doing more to race in the rain
Yeah, I
than
used
F1
I used to
is.
laugh
It
at
is-
NASCAR
it's
for
bad.
not racing in the rain. Everyone lines up in pit road, angling their cars and just waiting. And now that's what Formula One is doing. I can't believe it. Lap 32, Franco Colapinto absolutely destroyed his car, hit the barrier. There was fluids leaking from the car. Side was completely destroyed. It was. Car had definitely seen better days. So, red flag was called. And the red flag means free pit stops for everyone, if you didn't know. And
Another terrible rule.
yeah, everyone in F1 hates this rule.
Except for the FIA.
No. Everyone in F1 hates this rule, except for the drivers when it benefits them. That's the truth of it.
The FIA hates this rule?
No,
Oh.
I'm saying
Oh.
the drivers.
Okay.
Every-
I see
Yeah.
what you mean. see what you
Kind of funny. Pierre Gasly has benefited from this a few times, but we'll get into that later on. So this was bad luck for George, Lando, and pretty much everyone else. Essentially dropping positions down the grid, at least for everyone that was around Esteban, Pierre, and Max, because they got a free pit stop where everyone else had to come into the pits. So unlucky for all of them, lucky for those three. But guess what? That's motor racing. Sometimes luck gets involved.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the beast. So lap 34, after a couple times around under the safety car, Ocon led the field to green with a rolling start. Everyone was on inters. Leclerc passes Yuki for 6th at the first corner. Hamilton got past Lawson on the lap as well for 10th. Lando goes off track, opening the door for George to take 4th. On lap 36, Oliver Behrman demonstrated the riskiness of the wet track as he spun off and touched the barrier. On lap 39, 3 laps later, Carlos Sainz says, "I'll do you one better," to the man who took his seat at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, which, feels like it was a lifetime ago. And he spun beautifully into the barriers, bringing out another safety car. It was really just not Carlos's week after a great Mexican Grand Prix where he dominated. In Brazil, it was just not going his way at all. On lap 42, once again, Ocon led the field to green. This time, though, Max was able to steal first place with a move into turn 1, down the inside. It was a nice move. The two of them have history at the Senna S's. If you know, you know. But this time around, Max and Esteban stayed clean, and Max hold the lead. Lando decided that making the corner was overrated. He lost control really quickly. He regained control. Essentially, he got loose. His rear got loose. But still, he decided... he didn't decide. His car decided, I don't know. Whoever you want to blame, him or the car. He got loose. He regained control, but not before it was too late to really make the corner. Went off track a little bit. Dropped from 6th to 7th. Eventually got back up to 6th after swapping places with Piastri. And yeah, at this point, a position doesn't really matter because his hopes were just crushed at this point. But swapping positions just isn't anything new. Like, if you're complaining about it, like, I'm sorry, this is just Formula One. I don't love it either. But it is what it is, you know. Later on lap 43, Alonso and Hamilton, both of them went a little bit offline. Opened the door for Liam Lawson to jump from 11th to 9th. Lap 46, Russell, who was running a great race, much better than Lewis, who is normally amazing at Brazil. He gets past Leclerc after he has a moment going off track. And Max, after gaining the lead, he just absolutely took off. He put in nearly a 20-second gap to Esteban by the time the race was over. Verstappen, Ocon, Gasly. No one expected that podium. Great double podium for Alpine. I'll talk about it in a second, but just absolutely huge podium for Alpine. Russell, Leclerc, Norris, Tsunoda, Piastri. Piastri had a 10-second time penalty for that collision with Lawson, so that's why he finished behind Tsunoda, Lawson, and then Hamilton rounding out the top 10. Andrew, want to hear a fun fact?
Yes, I'd love to hear a fun fact.
This
There's
is-
people in the hallway outside.
This is highly unconfirmed,
Okay.
and it's according to F1 Twitter.
Okay.
So take this with the biggest grain of salt you can find.
Take this with a dump truck full of salt, is what you're telling me.
Yes, however, this might be the first race since 2014 where two teammates finished in the position respective of their numbers. Max Verstappen finished first. Sergio Perez finished 11th. Max Verstappen is number 1. Sergio Perez, number 11. Kind of funny. I don't know.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened with Aston Martin. Fernando's 14 and Lance's 18. I'm kind of surprised about that.
So that's
because-
why I take it with the biggest grain of salt you can find. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny.
I'm trying to think. Ferrari, no, that can happen.
Nope.
Mercedes, no.
Nope.
McLaren, no.
Nope.
Alpine, no. Williams, no.
Mm-hmm.
RB, no. What's Stake? No. Haas, no. So yeah, only those two teams.
Because, I mean, most drivers, they have a number way higher than 20.
Yes.
Or at least one driver on a team does.
Yes.
So, yeah. Now is my plea to Formula One fans to please stop talking about the Drivers' Championship. Like, please stop talking about it. Max is sitting at 393, and Lando is sitting at 331. Please stop talking about it. Max won. Let's stop trying to force something that doesn't exist. In the constructors, though, McLaren 593, Ferrari 557. That's something fun to keep your eye on. McLaren had the better weekend. They pull ahead, but that championship is definitely not over yet. It's close to over, but definitely not. The biggest move in the Constructors' Championship, though, is Alpine is now 6th, at least for the moment, after that double podium. And if they finish 6th, they'll get $30 million, essentially, for finishing 6th. So that's huge for them. However, they will have to hold off Haas, who are at 46 points. Alpine is at 49. And then RB is also sitting at 44. And I would say that on most normal weekends, both those teams have better cars than Alpine. So although Alpine is 6th right now, they probably fall back to 8th by the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Last thing I have to say, really, is Lando had a really, really bad quote after the race. It wasn't as bad as the small snippet of the quote that's all over F1 Twitter, but it's still pretty bad. Really, what all you need to hear of the quote is, that's life sometimes. You take a gamble, and it's paid off for them. It's not talent, it's just luck. That was regarding the safety car and the red flag. I think he was trying to say that Red Bull doesn't have the talent to predict the future, because no one can predict the future, and it was lucky that their gamble paid off in the way that it's lucky that any gamble pays off. But, like, dude, you can't say that. Like, just admit that you had a terrible race. It's okay. Like, yeah, it was lucky, but they made the most of it. I don't know, man. Like, you, that quote it's not a great reflection on Lando, in my opinion. It's not as bad as F1 Twitter is making it out to seem, but it's not great.
Yeah, you can read the tomfoolery that's been
I
happening.
don't even want to.
Into the news.
Yeah, only an hour into the show. Normally, we're into the news about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Yeah.
NASCAR had a bit of an oopsie.
the series race director, he said that Ryan Preece is going to drive the third RFK car, number 60. We don't know if it's chartered. We don't know if it's unchartered. But we'll see what happens. It will be yeah. I don't. With RFK getting a third car, they could have put plenty of drivers in that car. I always said that would have been a good pick. Ryan Preece is not one of them. He has never beat a teammate in his career except for Chase Briscoe when he had a big penalty.
And you're always measured against your teammates before anyone else.
Yes. So Ryan Preece, he's very okay. That's what he is. They could have picked so many other options. Like Chandler Smith, for instance, he said he's probably not going to be racing anymore. He's going to go manage his dad's construction company at this point. So he would be a better pick. So I don't
Why
know.
did every single message get deleted?
Because they put each other in timeout.
I blame you for giving them mod access.
Well, they don't anymore.
Carry on.
Austin has mod access, and with great power comes great responsibility.
Shout out official graphic designer Austin Hurst.
Yeah, we'll see it. I mean, I would have not liked it to be 60 because they had this Stage 60 campaign where they're going to bring in other drivers, and they have brought in other drivers. That was cool. I liked cool, innovative ideas. But no, they're like, we're going to have Ryan Preece, who is neither cool nor innovative. I like the guy. I think he's a great modified driver, but he just doesn't have the talent to be in an RFK car. It's like putting Lance Stroll in a Red Bull. That's not gonna go well. It's like he hasn't done anything to deserve it. Now, granted, you can say he's capable of being in NASCAR. I don't have any issue with that. That's a fair statement. But saying he gets a car with a team that's competitive for championships, that's a guy that can't uplift an organization. He can help you tread water, but he's not a guy that can outperform. But anyway, following the race, NASCAR issues 9 suspensions, point deductions, $600,000 in total fines for Martinsville race manipulation. Crew chief, I believe spotter, and then a team executive for each the 23 3-1 teams. 100-point deductions each, and then $1,000 each for the driver and crew chief. I like what they did. It's not enough, though. Is that I think you gotta slap more on the manufacturers. I feel like they were the huge orchestrators in this, and if they're getting away scot-free, who's to say they're not gonna do it again? That's the question that I ask. That scares me the most. And say, okay, if that's the penalty, why not just have Carson Hocevar spin out Ryan Blaney? Why doesn't Chevy say that? Who's gonna stop him? And if Hocevar does it, because he's that's what he does, he does it, who's to say that just... You get what I'm saying here, is that The manufacturers can keep getting away with this.
Yeah.
But it's so frustrating. Is that the sport that I love?
What happened to the game I love?
I could be saying that soon. If this keeps staying up, I don't want this to be. This isn't a slap on the wrist. It's not. I'm not underplaying that. It is heavy, but it's not enough. It's NASCAR needed a knockout blow instead of a punch to the gut. That's what I would say this is. 2311 is already applied for an appeal. Hopefully they lose it. Quite frankly, because I don't want any side of this to be smelt, heard of, thought of, conceived, planned, any word you want to use. I don't want to see it again. This is not something I like. Racing a guy hard, blocking aggressively, that's one thing. But just sitting in a line, not trying to pass, that crosses a line. You can race a guy hard. Look what Ryan Newman did for his career. A lot of people didn't like it, but it was in the rules. He raced guys hard, whether he was on the lead lap for position or he was 3 laps down. It did not matter to him. But that was legal. That was good. This is not legal nor good. This is bad. This is awful. Anyway, moving forward, this isn't on the dock, but I will quickly admit that the NASCAR versus 2311 and Front Row Motorsports kicked off in court on Monday. We are expecting a preliminary decision on Friday. We'll see how that goes. Kiffin Simpson to drive the third Ganassi car, number 8. That's pretty much as expected, Ethan.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, this is a lot like the Ryan Preece move, except Kiffin Simpson hasn't failed as much as Ryan Preece has, if you look at it like that way. Because
Sure.
Kiffin Simpson, he lost to his 4 teammates, one of which was pretty much a rookie, and another was in his second season. Those 2 guys blew him out of the water, and they got blown out. Those 2 guys got blown out of the water by 2 multi-time champions, which those 2 middle guys aren't going to be racing, which is unfortunate for Ganassi because Marcus Armstrong, he deserves another year of racing. I don't know if he's going to be a great guy, but he's a guy that's worth having around for another year. And Linus Lundqvist had multiple podiums in his rookie year, which I think he did great in the feeder series. Didn't get a full-time ride in the first year after the feeder series, bounced around, and picked up the Ganassi ride for what was supposed to be multiple years. But the charter deal, which I don't like, and I have gone on about in the past, forced Ganassi to shrink to 3 cars and get rid of some good drivers. It's frustrating to see. I don't like it's you know how I feel, Ethan. It's frustrating. It's like there's better drivers on the market, and you went Kiffin Simpson. Hopefully, Lundqvist lands a Juncos ride, maybe. But in other IndyCar silly season news, Robert Schwartzman, Bobby Schwartzy, completes Premise 2025 IndyCar lineup, running alongside Callum Ilott. You know more about his career, Ethan.
Yeah.
Tell me, how good of a driver is Robert Schwartzman to the best of your abilities?
I mean, I think that there are definitely some other drivers that are, it definitely could have been made a case for that seat over Robert Schwartzman, but Robert Schwartzman isn't bad by any means. He also has the prior connection to Prema, which I think is helpful, extremely helpful here. A familiar face with the drivers can kind of make this transition to a new series as smooth as possible. But yeah, for Robert Schwartzman, I mean, he kind of came onto the scene in junior racing a decade ago in Italy. Came up through the ranks, was always solid, podiums, wins. The first racing series he did win was the Toyota Racing Series in 2018.
Shout out Josh Revel.
Shout out Josh Revel. Only one win, but did enough to win
Very
the series
consistent.
overall.
He only had one finish worse than fourth.
Yeah, and then 2018 is where you see that Prema partnerships start to grow. The Formula 3 European Championship in 2018. He finished third in that.
He had a run of 7 podiums in a row.
And then
Pretty solid.
in 2019, this was kind of the height of his hype as a junior, winning Formula 3 with Prema. 3 wins on the season, whole lot of seconds, couple of thirds. And then in Formula 2, he did solid. And then I don't know exactly how much this has to do with things, but political stuff. Robert Schwartzman, he was racing under the Russian flag at the time. Didn't compete in F2 beyond 2021. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. I don't remember. I think it just no, it wouldn't have. No, not yet. I think he just decided to, or Ferrari, who he was in the academy for, just decided to have him be the reserve driver and kind of test there and maybe one day get a Formula 1 seat, but obviously nothing opened up. He's done some other stuff, test drivers. He's done hypercar in WEC, but now back into the open wheel stuff with a full-time race seat. Robert Schwartzman, solid driver for sure. I don't think we're going to get like anything groundbreaking out of him, but solid driver.
Yeah, he's got potential. We'll see. I would have liked Linus Lundqvist over him.
Yeah.
I think best free agent on the market, him and VK. You can put a 1A and 1B.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see where they go. We'll see where they land. I'm looking forward to finding out where they'll hopefully on the Indycar grid. It would be a crime if they weren't.
Yeah, seriously.
Moving forward, you talk about the one piece of F1 news this week.
2 pieces of F1 news. I forgot to put the second one on the document. Kind of a little funny. Pirelli admitted that they kind of messed up after Lewis Hamilton complained to Stefano Domenicali about the tires. They had to postpone qualifying, and Hamilton basically told Domenicali that if there were tire blankets still, that they would be able to run. He's give us better wet tires with blankets. We would be able to run in this. I mean, yeah, that says it all. And then Pirelli's head of motorsports, Mario Isola, acknowledged the need to improve. He told Autosport and Planet F1, it is true that we need to improve the performance of the wet tire to generate a proper crossover with the intermediate. That's our target. Next year, we will have a new wet tire with some small modifications because unfortunately we didn't have the possibility to have a proper test with the wet tire on a high severity circuit. That is exactly what we miss. And he went on to talk about tread patterns and such. So maybe Formula 1 will start racing in the wet again. That'd be nice. That'd be pretty big.
Hopefully, I'd like to see it.
The bigger piece of news is that Gabriel Bortoleto is all but confirmed to be driving alongside Sauber. Again, once it gets confirmed, we'll post it on Instagram. We'll talk about it more. But definitely super, super, super deserving of the seat. He's a McLaren junior. And McLaren, if he does sign, motorsport.com is saying that Now, McLaren will release him from his commitments to McLaren if he gets a race seat in Formula One, which I wouldn't expect that, but apparently that's what will happen if he does. Again, we'll go more about it once it's official, but Gabriel Bortoleto, won F3 as a rookie in 2023. He's leading the F2 championship as a rookie, and I know we as a society have progressed past the need for junior formula results, but still pretty impressive.
Yeah. Is it finally time for the previews?
Let's do it.
Okay. Wow. It is 24 minutes, well, technically 27 minutes past when we would normally end the show. And we did start the show a little later. I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so. See how long this comes out to be. But anyway.
90 minutes.
Hopefully somewhere around that. I got an email, but who cares? You might have heard that. We have a full field in Cup this week. That's the surprise. Kaz Grall in the 15, Derek Kraus in the 16. We have 44 NY Racing, JJ Yaley as their usual driver. 50 of Team Amerivet. They're making their second start with Jeb Burton. One of the drivers for sure. 66 for MVM will be Chad Fincham. 84 for Legacy Motor Club will be one of the co-owners, Jimmy the Juggernaut Johnson. So, with that being said, Championship 4, I have 3 drivers there because I wasn't sure who would be the 4th. Was it everything? I don't know why. I actually just forgot Joey Logano because I do have Byron Blaney and Tyler Reddick there. Those are your Championship 4. Your 5 drivers to watch out for. They're going to be Larson. He's won there before. Logano. He's won there 3 times. You've got Martin Truex Jr. You have Ethan's editing picks and it's distracting me. William Byron and Christopher Bell, rounding out the 5. Honorable mentions: Denny Hamlin, he's won there twice. Kyle Busch won there twice. Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, and Ross Chastain. Tyler Reddick never won at Phoenix. That's why I didn't mention him.
Yeah.
Xfinity.
And he's had some good races there, but also some not so great races there. Everyone has a shot, but if we had to rank it, I think he goes last.
Yeah. In Xfinity, SS Greenlight is bringing their 2 cars of Patrick Emmerling in the 07, Greg Van Alst 14, Colleague bringing their 4th car with Daniel Dye. The Joe Gibbs All-Star cars are William Sawalich and Eric Almirola. 26 car Jeffrey Earnhardt for Sam Hunt Racing. Joey Gase Motorsports with Joey Gase in the 35 and driver TBA in the 53. I think TBA has a good shot, clearly. Who knows? It might be Keenan Vaughn in that car. Who knows? Or Ben Paris, or Ryan Sikora, or one of...
Bro's just listing names at this point.
Listing names of people that are not hosts that have been in this room tonight.
I see Morgan Tremmel in that car, personally.
Maybe. Who knows? 45, Alpha Prime, Stephen Parsons. 88, Junior Motorsports, Connor Zillich. DGM Racing, their 2 cars, Josh Bilicki and Dawson Cram. Championship 4 in that series, Cole Custer, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier. Trucks, William
Sawallich.
William Sandwich in the 1 for Tricon, the 5th truck. Young's Motorsports bringing their 2 cars of Nathan Bird and Thad Moffitt, who is no relation to Brett Moffitt, who is in the 4 for Hettinger Motorsports again this week. Thad Moffitt is Richard Petty's grandson. 04, Andres Perez de Lara for Roper Racing. It was going to be Marco Andretti, but that changed. 7 is Connor Mosack, 22, and 27 for Rayum Brothers is Keith McGee and Frankie Muniz, respectively, in the 3rd and 2nd trucks. The 3rd, 4th Nice Motorsports trucks are Stephen Parsons and Caden Honeycutt. Connor Jones is back in the 66 car or truck for Thor Sport. He got suspended last week, so Johnny Sauter took over for the race. And Jack Wood will be in the 91 for McAnally Hilgeman Racing. Championship 4 of Ty Majeski. Corey Heim, as OBS might have crashed on me. Hopefully it didn't. Hopefully not.
Save remind me in 15.
Okay. We believe we're still recording.
Hopefully we're still live.
Hopefully.
Think so.
Looks so.
Think so.
Maybe there might be a blip in the stream, but who cares? Championship 4, Tyler Jeske, Corey Heim, Grant Enfinger, and Christian Akis. Be interesting to see if any drama occurs, if the beef from Martinsville continues into the next races.
Yeah. Can I talk about pick points now?
Yes, you
Huge.
can.
Oh my god. All right.
Why is it big on here?
So, last...
Refresh.
I'm just going to read off my
You
computer.
can read it off your
All right.
computer.
Last weekend, F1 sprint in Sao Paulo, we all picked Max Verstappen, so no change there in the points. And then for the podium, I had Max Verstappen finishing 3rd. He finished 1st, obviously, so 1 point for me for putting him on the podium. Andrew did not put him on the podium.
Oh, no.
The 91 Manthey finished ahead of my pick of the 92 Manthey. Corey Heim finished ahead of Ty Majeski. Eric Amarola won the Martinsville race.
Yeah.
5 points for you. Kyle Larson finished ahead of Denny Hamlin. 1 point to me. So it's 350 to 334 as we are now talking about the Phoenix Championship race for NASCAR. The only action going on this weekend. We will both be there.
Yes, and so our guest picker will be there, Noah Reed. Well,
So
I think we all have media passes. I think.
yes, we do.
I don't know if he does. I know we do.
He does.
But
Oh my gosh. Yes.
give me coffee or something.
So we will also have Noah Reed on the show at some point. But here are our picks. He went for the truck
I
series.
have his reasoning in front of me too.
Okay, good.
If
Truck
you
series.
want to let someone
He has
in.
Christian Eckes. You explain why he has Christian.
He says 2.2 average finish on the short ovals with 4 wins in 10 races has me high on the 19. But he's going to have to watch out for Taylor Gray. We'll see if Gray retaliates. Who'd you let in?
Don't know.
Okay, you let in someone.
He was wearing formal attire.
Okay.
He looked official.
I'm going to go with Corey Heim. He was running good until Kosovar ruined his race last year. Solid driver. Ethan, who do you have?
I have Grant Enfinger, and I have reasoning. He's ran well there in the past. He finished 6th at Phoenix the past 2 years, and if you go back to 2018 and 2019, he finished 4th and 5th there, respectively. He's also on a roll. He's won 2 out of the last 3 races. That's kind of what you need. You need to get hot at the right time, especially when you're in essentially what is a Game 7 situation. It's always good to have momentum on your side. So that's why he's my pick.
For Xfinity, Noah has Cole Custer winning the championship with a walk-off win for Stuart Haas Racing in their final races before switching to ownership as Haas only
Yes, I know. Give me a second here. No.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second here.
Okay.
He's got a chip on his shoulder with a point to prove Custer will be a 2-time champion before going to Cups again. But I honestly think that for the Xfinity race, we'll see the only non-championship winner. Sheldon Creed is insanely good, and Phoenix, I think you meant to say at Phoenix, and I think in a cruel twist of fate, his first win will be overlooked, which sounds like the most Sheldon Creed thing to ever happen. And for me, I looked at this field, I said, it's so hard to go back to back. It's not going to happen in Xfinity. So Cole Custer's not going to win. AJ Allmendinger, for as long as Colleague's been around, they have been terrible, no good, very bad at Phoenix. So it's not going to be them. So I say, okay, that leaves me 2 drivers, and I don't know what the other one is. So I have Austin Hill or Justin Allgaier. I've said to myself, when has Austin Hill been good at Phoenix? Never. Justin Allgaier, he's been good. He's an old guy. He's lost a lot of times. I think he's going to take that experience of losing and win. He's won at Phoenix before as well.
A guy that has even more experience is my pick, AJ Allmendinger. Honestly, just trying to be the contrarian here, but I do have some reasoning. You know, I think that the experience is really going to help him here. I think he's going to run a clean race, put himself into a position to strike near the end, and give himself a chance to pull it off. Part of me really wanted to pick Cole Custer, but I don't know. I just had a feeling in my gut feeling to go with AJ Allmendinger, and so I'll put my trust in the fellow Bay Area native, you know, Charlos Gatos.
All right, for Cup, the big show, it's an even year. Penske has brought fast cars to the track every week, and since Vegas, it seems like the stars have aligned. But we are forgetting the once a major piece of a puzzle. 40 years ago, one organization changed the face at NASCAR.
I thought you were going to say Niki Lauda told us.
He won the first race of the year, and he'll take
though.
home the championship trophy in the last. William Byron breaks the Ford streak and gives Hendrick the win. There's a saying called "you stick to your guns." I picked a certain driver to win the championship at the beginning of the year.
You did.
I picked a said driver to win the championship at the start of the playoffs.
You did.
And I'm going to pick him to win again. Ryan Blaney's going to go back-to-back. That's what I've been saying all year long. And when he wins the championship, everyone in the world will acknowledge my genius for 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'm not asking for 15 minutes. I'm asking for 2 seconds.
Yeah. I'm going to say my championship winner first because I have a different winner for the race. My championship winner is William Byron. This could be anyone's race. It really could. And the chances of a championship driver winning the race are extremely high. But I'm still I've been playing contrarian throughout this. I'm going to keep it up. Byron, he's won there before. He's done really well there before. Finished 4th in the finale last year, won the spring race last year, and obviously he's on a very solid run of form. I don't feel like I can really trust, especially Reddick at Phoenix. Don't know if I can trust Logano either. Besides that win, I just he hasn't really had the best playoffs. You know.
Yeah, I think he's like
I just
like 8th or 9th in the playoffs.
I just can't really trust Logano to pull anything off this year. And Ryan Blaney, of course, is an amazing contender here. So good at Phoenix. Done it before, but just going back to back is so difficult. And everything has to go right throughout the entire year, including under the most pressure of the win or go home race. So I can't count on Blaney to go back-to-back, which kind of leaves me with Byron. So I do have William Byron winning the championship. However, there is someone who I said if they make it into the Final Four at Phoenix, they will win the race and win the championship. And that person was Christopher Bell. Obviously, didn't make the Final Four. But I think that only gives him more fuel to kind of want to prove himself at Phoenix. And so I think that he will not run away, I shouldn't say that. I think he will end up with the victory when all is said. And William Byron, whether it be second or third, probably second, will win the championship.
Okay.
I could see it happening. I really could.
All right. Did you mention the points at the beginning of pick points?
I did. I did.
16 points left between us. Interesting note, I don't know if you pointed it out. Morgan's performance of gaining 4 points on you last week.
Mm-hmm.
If he had a net neutral, the guest would be officially eliminated last week. So
Okay.
we will see if Noah can get enough of a performance to keep the guests in it. They have to win. Get all.
I spelled my cat's name wrong.
You should have corrected it. You just realized that
I don't look
like
at
2
this.
months ago.
Oh, look at this.
Anyway, you have to correct it everywhere now. You spell it wrong anyway. So, with that being said, the guests have to get every race right, except for 3 of them where they have to walk away with a point. So, uphill, actually, no. I think they have to walk away with everyone. Yeah, they have to walk away with everyone to have a shot at this point by my math. The math is mathing, so.
I'm tired. Can we go now?
Yeah, does the chat have any questions for us?
Austin, any questions? Anyone else who's listening?
Yeah.
I do not think so. It doesn't look like it.
We'll be at Phoenix. We'll have media passes. I'm gonna try to get content.
Yeah. Well, we will get content.
Well, of some sorts.
Yeah.
Interviews, talk to people.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to what was the worst episode of the year, the most dysfunctional episode of the year, and the least serious episode of the year.
Oh, this was more serious than some of the episodes.
I don't know about that.
I think this is actually not a bad episode. Could be worse. Anyway, looking at the thing here,
Just pull
the
the
sheet.
plug. Put the fries in the bag. Let's end
Not
it.
much racing left this year. F1 Las Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi after this week. So, with all that being said, I have broken down after dark.
That was way funnier than it should have been.
Ethan, do you have anything to say as I attempt to stop the stream?
Just put the fries in the bag, bro.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week for some more powerful episode.